Hi. So I penned this post about a month or so ago, and stuff still remains true. And I just wanted to share that with you. It was about the news world, the news that we hear, whether it is from the traditional sources or the social media or whatever. The news world, social media, and elections, and some of my thoughts on that. So, the stuff has changed in the last couple of weeks, but the message kind of still remains the same. It's a few months up to the elections, and the news cycle will slowly start ramping up its rhetoric. Shrill voices will start popping up from every corner of your news world. Suddenly, when you open your WhatsApp or your Facebook or your news, it'll look like everything is at serious stake in this country. Your birthrights will suddenly appear challenged. Now, whether it is rightfully so or otherwise is up to the state of your saner mind. How you do your research, how you opine, how you don't end up polarizing opinions, that's up to you. You see, we all have been witness to the power of social media in the last 10 years. Really, when did Facebook start? More than 10 years back. Then WhatsApp came. And we all have been witness to the power of social media, how news quickly spreads, how events become an overnight sensation. Somebody's whatever, and then suddenly opinions pour, something becomes viral, and they become forgotten afterwards. And one has to just visit the timelines in their profile and see what they opined back then and how it has evolved. You know what? I did it, and I was shocked how we have allowed ourselves to be carried away by this kind of news, this kind of extreme polarizing news. And I was shocked. Then I kind of realized the thing is, very little is going to make us all change our political leanings or inclinations. And that's a fact. For every newsbit that challenges our political leaning, we will have a way to defend it. Or when the very same news affirms our conviction, we'll go to the town parading it. Now, all this may reflect our fleeting thoughts, if not firm beliefs, at least the prevalent mindset at that time. What we should certainly abstain from is falling prey to news-like material that seem to affirm our convictions and have the potential to polarize the opinions and divide us. And that's what you should guard yourself against. Now, fake news may be one way to describe it, but the term itself is subject to a broader and a loose definition. What is fake news? Now, of course, I'm not keeping any political context or connotation to it, but people make that word famous, so we got to go along with that. It takes time to verify facts, and in the meanwhile, we choose to share them without trying to verify the accuracy, context, and the content of the purported claims. But, by then the damage is already done, depending on whom you ask or whom you speak to. Also, what do we say of specific articles that blatantly flout accurate reporting and render a dangerous twist on events that happen? Now, I'm not picking on anyone. I'm just saying across the air, just to anyone. It doesn't take long to read the article and separate the grain from the chaff. Now, I may have my friends who will do that for me and correct me. Now, I may be trying to do the same to the other people. We can all be engaged in a productive discussion, but we should never get personal. But such is the nature of reporting that no kind of media is immune to it, whether it is the so-called mainstream media, which people like to refer to, or any kind of opinionated media. And that plague has hit everywhere. All of them rely on one thing. And what is that? They all rely on one thing. People care to read only headlines. People care to only skim through the facts, see what fits their narrative. No one verifies if the accompanying pictures matches the context or have been taken recently, whether they match it, and the list goes on. The bottom line seems to be very simple in all these things. It's plain and simple. polarize the views to the extreme ends without making it possible to have a meaningful dialogue. That is, you polarize the views and suddenly you'll get personal and gets all heated up. Now, why is this being done, especially by reputed media houses too? I don't know. Your guess is good as mine, and we can only go on and on about that. You see, social media may have its ills. And people will say, oh, don't do this on WhatsApp, don't do this on Facebook, you are a Facebook warrior, keyboard warrior, blah, blah, blah. But it also affords us the luxury of being able to engage in a meaningful dialogue. And that's what we should focus on. Are we engaging in a meaningful dialogue? No discussion is interesting without differing opinions, because differences is what constitutes the excitement. But no such discussion ever succeeded with shrill voices and getting personal. And that's what is going to happen in the coming few months leading to the elections. I read a line somewhere. We can all disagree without being disagreeable. It may look a play of words and semantics, but it is true. We may all disagree. The thing is, you should not be a disagreeable person, kind of an obnoxious person when you kind of air your views. So, I don't know. Where does that leave us? Maximum we can do is take it upon ourselves to verify the facts. Don't end up forwarding stuff that can actually kind of polarize opinions and, shrill voices. No, let's try to abstain from that. And you're not a bad person when you do that. Let's focus on our premises. Social media is beautiful. Let's differ. Let's confer. Let's talk. And in drawn out debates, let's focus just on the premises that we have. And just leave it at that. You know what? You may disagree with a person vehemently for whatever they are. But at the end of the day, there is life beyond social media and even mainstream media. Your neighbor or your office colleague with whom you differ so vehemently, we will still get together for a coffee or tea at the end of the day, depending on what you like, and we'll still chat about it. That's how life goes on. You should not let it get too much into us. So, coming back to the point, as one heads towards the elections, let's take a moment to evaluate all that has been done so far, discuss the strides that have been made, gone unnoticed, or tweaked by the media, and then confer with others without getting personal, and then make your choice. But you should make a choice. That's important because it's your right and responsibility as a citizen. These are some of my fleeting thoughts. You can confer. You can discuss and share your thoughts. Thank you.